All right. Welcome back to Valiant Minds podcast. I am your host, Tabitha Olatunya, and it's been a minute, it feels like. I feel like we haven't really released a podcast in a while, but life gets in the way. We're all busy, and it's exciting to finally be back a little bit here. And I have the wonderful AZIZA SALUKOMBO with me today, and she was featured in issue 9 of Valiant magazine. So we are excited to have her here. This is something different. We've featured, different beauties and artists and things like that, but we've never actually featured a dancer, and she's a dancer. So if you have not read her feature story in the magazine, please go ahead, take a look, read it, and then come back and listen to this, because then you'll get a little bit more in depth about who she is. This is more of a, as I've always said, this is more of a getting to know the features from their own voice rather than just the articles that are edited and things like that for them on the website. So, Miss AZIZA, please introduce yourself. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. Like she said, I'm AZIZA SALUKOMBO. I am a dancer. I consider myself an all-around entertainer, but the way it started was dancing. My Instagram name, everything, everyone just thinks I'm a dancer, but yeah, what else?
Okay, all right, so that's the introduction we got here, and we're going to jump a little bit more into diving into all your multifaceted skills and talents, because when I was reading your article here, you are not just a dancer, as you mentioned. You are a high school educator, Afrobeats dancer, obviously, an instructor as well, event host, and part-time actor. Can we go a little bit into each one of those and kind of get a little bit more understanding about you?
Okay, so dancing, like I said, I'm Congolese. That just came from birth. My mom jokes. She says that I was dancing before I could walk. I was a late walker. So I would just sit there and I would dance by myself. And then, I don't even know what year, but it was like when I first came to America, my siblings and I decided to start a dance team, and it was just like my siblings and a few friends. We started that. Then I went off to college afterwards, and that's all I wanted to do. So I ran a student, I did the African Students Association, and then I merged the dance team within the association. And I had that for 3 years, the Royal Descendants. And then I went solo and I started doing my own thing. Running a team is exhausting. I miss it. I love my dancers, but it was a lot trying to manage a lot of money, a lot of time. I'm a perfectionist, so my dancers would have to practice for 8 hours.
Oh, wow.
Not a day.
Yeah.
2 times a week. But it was for a lot of time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's the dancing side. Host, sometime, I don't know if you've ever heard of the CEO dancers.
I have.
When they arise in social media, to me, dance just became really saturated. And I figured I should do something else other than just being a dancer, because now everybody who can move was a dancer. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let me try something else. My manager is a DJ, and I was like, put me on as a host, just randomly. And I started doing that. I'm still terrified to be in front of a microphone. I hate my voice. I hate hearing my voice. I'm probably going to cringe at this interview. But I started doing that, and eventually schools started to reach out to me to host their African nights. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. So I started doing that. And I remember sometime before COVID, I had moved into my house, and I remember for the first year of me living in my house, I was so booked from hosting events that I was never home for any weekends.
Wow.
So it just worked out perfectly. High school educator. I wanted to stay in the educational field, because I graduated in 2018. But I didn't want to just like do the dance thing and, not have any knowledge of any school related things, because I do want to go to law school. I do want to go to grad school eventually. So yeah, I was like, I would rather be in the school industry. That way my brain is still like in the school industry and not just in the entertainment world. So that's where the high school educator thing came from. Honestly, I wake up every morning and I ask myself, how am I there? But I'm there. So yeah, high school.
Okay.
Actress. I said part-time.
I saw that.
I said part-time because that was something that like was brought on me randomly. My friend Sugar Beast, he's a comedian on Instagram. He randomly just was like, "Oh, let's do this video." And if you watch our skits, like most of our skits are just like me yelling at him. That's what I can do so far. That's why I say part-time. But I think eventually I can learn how to act different roles and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's my busybody story.
I love it. I feel like that's what Valiant is all about, is the fact that they showcase people, millennials and Gen Zs and things like that, who are not doing the regular 9-to-5 job and have all of these different types of skills and talents that you can just dabble into, and earn multiple streams of income from. So if you have it, you go ahead and get it done. So that's what I always say. All right, so let's go back into the dancing aspect. Your Instagram is a dancing queen of Africa, and it seems like that is more so your center, who you are. And if you don't mind just explaining a little bit more into, I know you said you've been dancing since you were a kid, but how did it become a bigger thing? How did it become where you are headlining for some African Nigerian celebrities, singers and things like that you're dancing in their performance? How did you get into all of that?
I don't know what it is, but I always say, like, I'm not the greatest dancer alive. Like, of course, there's so many great talented dancers nowadays. Like, I watch these YouTube videos, like, from kids to people that are not even African, like, killing Afrobeats. So I know that I'm not the greatest, like, and then it's like, as much as I'm a choreographer, it's hard for me to learn somebody else's choreography. And I have like all these other things going on. Like I said in the article, it's a struggle to try to mix like my professional future career versus this career. I used to be that performer. I haven't performed in a while, like on the dancing side, COVID and all of that.
Yeah.
But I had this signature where, like, during my performances, at the end, I would take my wig off.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm crazy when I'm on stage, and it's like trying to juggle those two things is a struggle for me. So I think my point for me going with this is that I know I'm not the best dancer, but the one thing I know how to do is attract a crowd, if that makes sense. Like, one thing about me, and I'm not saying this to be cocky, I don't know if it's...
Listen, flaunt it. If you got it, you gotta flaunt it, okay? Confidence.
Leo energy going on right now. Yeah, it's just, if I start dancing, and this is anywhere I go, I can be in a complete strange city. I went to a salsa class yesterday and I just started dancing and everyone just stopped. Like, it's the way I dance, it's the ugly faces, it's the body, it's whatever. It attracts the crowd, and you can't help but do that. So when I had the team, we would perform for artists that were coming into town. And like I said, my manager is a DJ. So whenever these artists come around, he's part of the team that's bringing in the artists. So I guess that gave me a leg up. So whenever they would be coming and they needed dancers, my manager was like, well, I have an artist that dances. So boom, here in the show. And now I'm on the team with the people who bring the artists. So
that's awesome.
I think I'm going to have to give Zaga a shout out for this one.
That's awesome. So, as I think I mentioned to you before we started the show, but you said you're Congolese and you're a mixture of, but you're actually Rwandan and
Congolese.
Oh, so you're Rwandan and Congolese. Okay.
So,
yeah. Okay. And then, but people like to think that you're Nigerian. I actually thought you were Nigerian before
everyone thinks I'm Nigerian. It's because the other team that I mentioned in the interview, RSG, full of Nigerians.
Okay.
Uncle Aziz, everyone, that's my twin brother, so everyone assumes I'm just Nigerian.
They've adopted you into the Nigerian family. That's what it was.
And I'm always been like Nigerians or Ghanaians, like, and people just assume I'm either Nigerian or Ghanaian. Like, everyone who sees me, are you Ghanaian? Are you Nigerian? I'm like, at this point, you guys can take wherever you want. Whatever.
I hear that. So going off of that, with being that you've headlined for these artists, it looks like for the majority, they were mostly Nigerian artists. So like Davido, Kiss Daniel, Tenny, the Entertainer, like how was that? Obviously, like I feel like because they're celebrities in Nigeria or in the Afrobeats world, it may be a little different than meeting a celebrity here, like Beyonce. Like, obviously, that'd be crazy. But, you know, how was it meeting them and dancing for them and the interactions with having that type of, you know, contract done?
So a lot of those artists, if you go on my Instagram icon, the experience part, a lot of these shows were me hosting the concert.
Okay.
Yeah, so I performed for the video years ago. And I think this is how the whole artist thing started up, honestly. But yeah, like meeting them and stuff like that. And being that they're mostly Nigerians, like, honestly, can we escape that? We can't escape that.
Honestly.
Like, yeah, Nigeria has taken over the
Afrobeat world, I swear.
Yeah, that's just what we have. So, yeah, but I don't know. It's a humbling experience, I would say. Like, it's different seeing an artist from one end and then actually getting to see them in person and how they act. It changes your perspective on the artist depending on how they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say I'm very, like, I don't know what word I would use for that, but, like, I'm not very starstruck, like,
reserved.
I dance because I love to dance.
Right.
I'm hosting because I love to do these events. Like, I'm not doing them because I look at meeting these people as like a hurt. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
I get that.
Most of the time when I'm doing these events, I'm not, like, they're on stage, I'm not even worried. Like, it's just, I have this saying, we all bleed red. So it's just...
Facts. Facts. That's true. I feel like some people...
I respect them, but I'm not, yeah, you know.
Some people could take notes from that. Like I said, I mentioned Beyonce earlier. I don't understand how people could be incredibly, like, obsessed with someone they've never met in their life.
Oh.
It's something else. But we're not going to go into that topic before the beehive comes for me, please.
The thing I've learned is you can think of them like as highly as you want to, but as soon as you meet them, you're like, like they can't hear that on the podcast.
Oh my gosh. I love it. So going off of that, you mentioned that you are still wanting to pursue going to grad school and wanting to become a lawyer as well. What is your ultimate career goal, or what is your ultimate, dream in life and where you want to be in life?
For as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a lawyer, and that's the reason why I'm still chasing it up until now. Being African, we all have that, heat under our, where you have to time. But being an undergrad, the one thing I learned is that, yeah, time is here, but like, as much as I want to control every single aspect of my life, I can literally say, okay, I'm going to graduate in 3 years, right? That was my goal. I didn't. Because I got to college. I started running a student organization. Two, added a dance team on top of that. I was working 67 hours a week at times, home care, and then I was traveling, doing shows and stuff. It's just what you plan is not what will always happen. So I know eventually I do want to end up in law school, and I mean I'll be 27 on August 5th, 4 days from now.
Oh, happy early birthday!
Thank you. I'll be 27 a few days from now, and the one thing I don't have now that I had back then is like the rush thing where I thought that I had to be a lawyer at a certain time. Like everyone wants to be, okay, I'm gonna graduate at 20, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna at this age, and it's like law, I guess, to answer the question, is my career path. That's where I want to end up. Dance is my passion. Entertainment is a passion for me. I'm even starting to consider whether I should do entertainment law because I think I'm good at this entertainment.
Yeah.
It's exhausting, it's tiring, but anything that you work hard at is honestly hard. Nothing is easy. Just make sure you're enjoying it. So for me, I'm at a point where it's like my body cannot dance forever, but I can be a lawyer in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm. I like that. It's deep. It's real deep. I like that. That's deep. I'm listening.
So right now, like, I'm going to dance as much as I can, and I feel like I've been taking that LSAT. It's definitely been kicking my butt, but I feel like God's timing. Like when I'm ready to get there, I'll definitely get there. And that's partially my fault. I'm not studying the way I should be, but I can't be studying and doing entertainment at the same time. Like before I graduated college, before I got my undergrad degree, I had to disappear off of Instagram. Like I deleted I had a different Instagram account. Like deleted it, disappeared, because that's how I get bookings. If somebody hits me up for a booking and the money looks good, going. So when I'm ready to do law, I will sit down and focus.
I get that. You mentioned that, we'd like to plan things, but sometimes our plan is not always in line with God's plan. And there's something that I've been saying, it feels like for the past couple months now, where it's like we plan and God laughs. And you just have to come to the understanding that your path is your path and what is meant for you is for you. If you overstress and overthink because you feel like your clock is ticking or whatever, this person's doing this, that person's doing that, you can go crazy. You can drive yourself crazy, Yeah.
And then, this social media era, like where we watch everybody. Like, they've mastered it. They've done this. They've done it. You don't know what they're going through. So for me, I try not to compare myself to the whole "we all bleed red" thing. That's where I started. Like, I'm not comparing myself to you. I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I'll do what I want to do later.
I hear that.
It's just my timing is my timing. I'm doing what God wants me to be doing at this exact time, and I genuinely believe that. So.
That's amazing. I love that. Thank you for giving us a little bit of words of wisdom with that. It's true, especially in our generation. Social media can really get you wrapped up into feeling like you're less than sometimes and you're behind and things like that. So it's necessary, and this is why we have this platform, Valiant Minds and Valiance Magazine, is to allow people to see that you can start. It's never too late to start at whatever it is that you're passionate about that's been tugging at you, So always go for it and never compare what you're doing to someone else. You can learn, you can be inspired, but never compare, because that's where things can get a little out of hand. So yeah, thank you for that. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to kind of jump into a different direction, and we're going to play a little game here. It's nothing too crazy, but I know you haven't been dancing for a little bit due to COVID and things like that. But when you were like really into that world of entertainment and you're, going on shows and performing all of that every weekend, it seemed like, what was a typical day like for you in doing that?
So during the week, like I said, I've always kept a regular job during the week. So obviously the teaching thing. So I would go to work from 7 something Monday through Friday, but on Fridays I would literally go to work with a packed suitcase. I drive a lot to my shows, especially if they're in state. So I just pack a suitcase, get off work, drive to wherever I needed to drive, like 6 hours, 7, 8, whatever. It was a lot because sometimes I would find myself doing, like, on a Friday, I had to be teaching a dance class at 3, 4, maybe 5 o'clock, right? I have to teach a dance class at 5 o'clock. I have to host a show at 7 o'clock. That's in one day at one location. And then I have to be in a different state on Saturday because I have to host another show at 7 the next day. And then on Sunday, sometimes people would hire me to teach dance classes because I do teach classes too. I teach, I host, and I perform. And some schools, I have a contract that's like a package. So my contract basically gives you all the services that I offer, and how you choose to use me is up to you, and how you choose to pay my fees up to you. So people would take advantage of that. They would be like, well, we want you to teach a class on Friday, host an event on Saturday, and then on Sunday we want you to do this. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, God, thank you. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. But yeah, that's not even a day per se, but like my weekends were definitely exhausting. Like, exhausting. Like, coffee is my best friend now. I drink 4 cups of coffee.
Oh my Lord.
I got so used to that. I had to be up. Yeah.
Wow. So, you know, I know you kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier about, you know, wanting to graduate in 3 years, but then you had all these things that you had to do with your dancing. How did that affect, if you don't mind going a little bit more into that, your educational life, you know, with having literally all weekend, no sleep, getting things done, driving back and forth, then you got assignments, exams, get back to class, all of that.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell a story that I'm not proud of. And I'm going to regret this. Okay, so
hopefully it'll inspire someone. So don't regret it. Don't, you know.
My year of college. And this is another thing about me, is that I went into, like I said, I've always wanted to be a lawyer, right? So you talk to an advisor, you tell them, oh, I want to be a lawyer. They tell you, oh, you should major in public PR, not public relations.
Political science? Oh, okay.
First thing they tell you. Boom. So I started that. It's like, okay, let me do this. Okay. Hated it. I have a Bill Clinton book right there that I use as decorations. That I had to read for some political class, and I was just like, I don't care about this. So, boom, hated it. Moved to communications and public relations. This is my junior year. No. Like, towards the end of sophomore. So I started off my junior year with communications and public relations. Took all the classes. Then I took an ethics course that year, and I fell in love. I was like, whoa, what? I can just think? Like, I don't have to, I can just freely think. Like, that was so enticing to me. So I went and talked to my advisor. I was like, I think I want to do philosophy. She was like, AZIZA, you're supposed to graduate soon. I was like, is there a way we can make this work? Gladly, all the Palisade, the public relations and communication courses still would have transferred to a philosophy degree, to where I could have gotten 2 degrees, where it could have just been political science, communications, PR, and then philosophy. I was like, bet, let's do it. Of course, I lost some credits. Boom. Did my schedule. After I did my schedule, started getting all these bookings. This is a year that I was gone every single weekend. Sometimes during the week. So I'm communicating with my teachers. I'm getting my work done. My grades look good. And I'm telling all my teachers what's happening with me. Like, I'm sending them my flyers. I'm sending them my work schedule. I'm thinking we're on the same page. They're like, yeah, that's fine. You're doing good. Like, we know you're busy, blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. somehow, because I wasn't going to class a lot, even though I was getting my work done, I wasn't making it to class because I was making all this money and I was doing all this entertainment stuff. So my body was exhausted during class time sometimes, or I was working. And somehow one of the teachers, because the philosophy department at my school was so small, like they all knew each other. One of the teachers spoke to the other teachers and they all decided to fail me.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Except one. Only one of the teachers that I don't know if they were not friends with him or what, I still passed his class with an A. And that's the crazy thing, is that I genuinely was looking at graduation. I was like, I'm ready. I'm done. My grades are good. Out of nowhere, boom, failed me.
Wow.
So I had to retake all those classes, and that's when I deleted my Instagram, because I was like, if it's up, I'm going to have to accept the bookings.
Right.
It's exhausting, but the money that comes from it is good. Even from teaching, I don't think I make that much money, to be honest.
Wow.
So when it comes and then it's oh, I'm passionate, I'm making connections, I'm doing this, this is what I love to do. I can't help but not say no. So I was like, you know what? Let me just delete everything, get this degree, and then go back to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I did.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Listen, I feel like everyone, whether they want to admit it or not, has had some sort of experience with that in college. College was not easy. It is not an easy navigation in life, okay? So thank you for sharing that, because I know there's someone out there who can absolutely relate and hopefully learn as well from, those mistakes, in the sense of knowing how to better juggle, because you were just starting that, so it was new to you to try to figure it out. And I'm sure if you were to go back to that point in your life, you would know how to better do that. So I've been there. I get it.
The system. I was like, as long as I get my grades done, I remember, I always laugh at this. I was doing a BM concert one year, and it wasn't even that. I was at a BM concert. He's a Congolese artist, and I performed. Then another artist was performing, so he could take a break. I ran to the back, and I was typing the paper. It was that bad at times.
Oh my God.
I was perform, go in the back, do my work. Perform, go in the back, do my work as much as I can. And then when I get back to the hotel, I'm getting work done. I'm up all night. Then I have to be up and teach a dance class.
Wow.
Now that I think about it, I'm psycho.
You got through it, though. You got through it. That is dedication. That is passion. You were like, no matter what, I'm going to get this done. That's amazing. You are so strong to be able to get through all of that. And I do want to ask now, with having to push through and deal with all of that all at once, and, I want to say Valiant Magazine, we pride ourselves in being able to, talk about mental health and shine a light on that. And you don't have to, express yourself or, talk about this if you don't want to. But with having to juggle all of that all at once, how was your mental health in that time frame?
This is going to sound bad, but I don't even think I had time to think about it.
I understand. That's understandable.
I don't think in that moment, I don't think I had time to think about my mental health, because luckily for me, right? Luckily for me, I have a way of not looking at things as a negative thing. This thing that I have about God's timing, I really believe in that so much that with that experience, actually now whenever somebody tells me if I have any advice to give somebody to go to college, my only advice that I give kids is take your time. Take your time. Do not think that you have to get it done in 3 years like somebody did. Do not think that you have to get it done in 4 years like someone else did. Take your time, because if you don't, you're going to go crazy. I have people that I know that went to college that were because the workload was too much and they were not doing anything else.
Yeah.
So I guess for for me, dancing and doing all that was my drug.
Yeah.
And that was like, when I'm doing that, I don't think about anything else. Like, that's my outlet. So the good thing is that what was keeping me away from the craziness, even though it was crazy, is actually my healing process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I wasn't going crazy or anything. I was definitely happy. I was happy. I'm not gonna lie. I was very happy. I felt blessed because I had just gone like solo. I had just left my team, and I was like, whoa! I didn't know people really liked me this much. Like, this is great. So yeah, I was happy. I got the degree. It's not like I didn't get it. So
that's good. At least you got it. That's good. I like that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I know I mentioned this earlier. I felt like we completely changed from the fun questions. So now we're actually going to get to the fun questions. All right. So if you could have any superpower in the whole wide world, what would it be?
I guess being in multiple places at once. I don't know if that's a superpower, but if I could have it, that would be great.
I like that. It makes sense for the lifestyle.
I always say I wish I could clone myself, so I think that would be a superpower.
Okay. All right. And if you could go on any vacation, paid for, don't worry about time off, nothing like that, everything is included, where would you go? Bali, you said? Okay. All righty. And let's see here. What is your favorite childhood memory?
Okay. The only one I can think of, I grew up in Congo, so we don't have very fun memories. I love to cook now. I love to cook when I can. And when I was younger, I remember like my mom. This is so random. I remember my mom like bought me this like little pot and pan set. Like, it was real. It wasn't like the toy ones. Like, it was a real one, but it was like small. So when my aunt was cooking, I was like mimicking what she was doing next to her.
I love that.
I would like have my own little fire next to her, and I would have like these little pots that were probably like the size of this candle, and like I would just like cook my own stuff. Like, yeah, that's so sad. That's random.
Oh, no, I love it. I love it. In that case, what do you prefer, steak or fish?
Fish. I'm definitely a seafood.
Okay. And what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
I don't have a sweet tooth.
Oh.
Yeah.
So do you eat like candy, pies, cakes, anything like that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't really have a sweet tooth, but if I do want ice cream, and this is mint chocolate chip.
Okay. I feel like, I'm gonna let it slide. I feel like people talk about how mint chocolate chip is like eating toothpaste, but
exactly. If I had to, yeah, that's what I would do.
But it's what you like, so.
Yeah. I like yogurt. I'll eat yogurt.
Okay, so do you like parfaits and stuff?
Yeah, parfaits. I love parfaits. When I'm on the road, that's my food.
Okay. All right, perfect. And let's see here. What is your favorite color?
I don't know if it's really a color. Gold.
Gold?
Yeah.
I like that. That's my favorite color too. I think it's a color. Yeah. I like rose gold especially, but
I love just like gold.
Gold accents, gold everything. It's the best. And lastly, are you a TV show buff or TV anything? Do you like watching TV and watching movies?
TV more than anything, like TV shows more than anything.
Okay. So what are you
I'm getting into movies now. Like TV
Okay, not a problem. What are you currently binge watching right now?
I just started All American literally yesterday. I'm on episode 4 though.
Of season 1?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just started.
God.
I started it like a while back and I couldn't really get into it. So then I was like, okay, I don't know what to watch. I've watched Golden Girls too many times. So I was like, let me start something else. I'm like a rewatcher. Like,
Yeah.
It's like I feel that I like. It's like my safety net. I just keep watching. Like I've seen movies and I was like, not necessary amount of time. Yeah.
All American is the best show. We're not sponsored by them, by the way, if anybody's listening. All American, it did not sponsor us. If you would like to, though, Valiant Minds is interested. Thank you very much. But it is a great show. Keep watching it. It gets better. But yeah, I think that's all about the questions that I have for you, AZIZA. It was amazing having to talk to you and, share your thoughts and the things that go on in your life. And I guess one last question really that I would want to ask is, what was your reasoning, or rather what excited you about being featured in Valiant magazine?
So I think I tried to listen to like other podcasts yesterday, but I think just like everyone, like they reached out and I like started scrolling through. It was just like a random DM and I just started scrolling through. The work looked very neat. The message looked very good too. And then I saw one of my friends on it, Toby, so I asked questions.
Oh.
I saw Toby, I was like, what is this? I was like, what is this? Who owns it? Like, I was asking all the questions, and he like told me a little bit about it. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, my pictures are just sitting on my Instagram. Use them. Why not? But yeah, the feature was really good. Like, it was really well written. Because I know I just like answered questions randomly, but the way like whoever the writer is,
Oh.
it was very well written and everything. Yeah, it looks like you guys have some. Like you're shining a light on a lot of great things, so that's what really attracted me to it.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you so much for saying yes to Valiant magazine and being a part of, our journey and getting to showcase real people who are doing amazing things but are not as recognized as they should be. That is the whole premise of the platform. Is to be able to get, we know all the celebrities, we know all the, hip hop and dancers, everybody that's already blown. We know those. The point of this is to give a platform to the people that are just starting and they just want their chance to be able to be noticed. And that's what Valiance is all about. And also for people that have made it and have made something of themselves, to be able to inspire other people as well. So thank you for saying yes and being featured and, being a part of Valiant Minds podcast today. And by the time you actually have this podcast out, for anyone that's listening, by the time you're listening to this, I know you were just talking about how you called your friend Toby, wondering who the people are behind the magazine and things like that. You will know the people and the faces within the next 2 days. But by the time this podcast drops, you guys will already know. So just give it a little bit of a sneak peek there if you don't already know.
Through my investigations, I think I have a slight idea.
Slight idea. Okay. All right. I feel like people have been trying to figure out who it is, but I think what they really wanted was to have the work speak for itself rather than having to have the support of just the people that we know or, people just follow and like and support just because they know who the people are behind it, but rather to just let the work of the amazing people, talented, crazy, talented people. Like we have featured a Netflix producer for a show and just all these crazy things, that's what it's all about. Is just let people see you. So yeah. And again,
thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. Where can we find you? Obviously, I've already mentioned your Instagram handle earlier, Dancing Queen of Africa, but is there anything that you want to say, and also where can people find more about you?
Mainly Instagram. I mean, I have Facebook, but I don't really use it for business. So, yeah, a Dancing Queen of Africa. That's my brand. That's my Instagram. A Dancing Queen of Africa _.
Okay.
Yeah, I post all my shows on there, dance classes, anything that you need to know will be on there. So, yeah.
Awesome. Y'all heard that. Make sure you book her. Listen, Afro beats and everything is taking over the world right now. Essence is probably your favorite song, and it's okay to admit it. Essence by Wizkid and Thames. So I'm sure AZIZA will have a class of some sort dedicated to that song if you really want to learn how to, move your waist as an African. So make sure you go hit her up on her social media on Instagram, a Dancing Queen of Africa _. And she'll be more than happy to, teach you and get to know you and, also showcase a little bit more about the Afrobeats world, as they call it. So again, thank you so much, AZIZA, for joining us today. And please take a listen to all previous episodes if you have not, of Valiant Minds. And also follow us on Instagram, Valiant Magazine, Facebook as well. And check out her feature, as mentioned, of issue 9, as well as past features that were featured in that issue. And it was wonderful having this chat today. Thank you guys for listening. Stay tuned for more exciting things to come. This is just the beginning of so much that Valiant Magazine is doing, and we're excited to show you guys so much more. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. Bye.